Thank you for your service, and I want to commend you as well for your outreach and your responsiveness. I can't always get to say that about administration officials, but in your case I can, so I want to say it. I appreciate it. You're aware of my concerns with India's pharmaceutical patent violations and my concerns with Canada's patent utility regime. And in the special 301 report issued by the Department yesterday, you issued fairly strong statements about the need for improvement in both countries' IP regimes, which I both support and applaud. Nevertheless, as we're looking at TPP and other elements, I am convinced that our economy is increasingly based on innovation. And I am looking for the administration to demonstrate that it has a long horizon, whole-of-government view and strategy on advancing international IP policies, one that I and other members can get behind and support. So can you give me a sense of what is the administration's strategy, specifically with regards to emerging economies when IP protection and enforcement is inadequate?
Well, first of all, as you know, yesterday we issued the special 301 report. We focused on a number of problem areas, and as I mentioned earlier, we've been very concerned about the deterioration of the innovation environment in India. We are looking forward for them to get through their election and for us to be able to engage with the new government on that and to have a real dialogue about how they can address their legitimate public policy interests in public health and access to medicines while still respecting the intellectual property rights of innovative companies, including from the United States. And similarly on Canada, we've made clear our concern about their utility approach to patents, and we're going to continue to engage bilaterally and in our other discussions with them about that and other IP-related issues. In TPP, we have a robust intellectual property rights agenda that enhances innovation while at the same time takes as its touchstone the May 10, 2007 bipartisan agreement, which noted that there should be differentiation among countries depending on levels of development. We're working with individual countries to ensure that they are strengthening their intellectual property rights regimes consistent with their levels of development, and that we're able to promote innovation and at the same time promote access to medicines. We're working individually with each country in TPP, and we're very much focused on improving the overall level of intellectual property rights protection across the region, including on small molecules and on biologics.
Mm-hmm. And while you're clearly at the lead of this because of trade, the trade bailiwick that you obviously possess in your portfolio, are there other elements of our government promoting our interest in intellectual property rights, State Department, Commerce, others?
Yes, we work very closely, for example, with the Commerce Department and the Patent and Trademark Office. We work with the Intellectual Property Rights Coordinator at the White House. We work with the State Department. We work with Health and Human Services. And so we work with the Department of Justice. We work with several other agencies on an interagency basis in the process of this negotiation.
On another matter, Bangladesh submitted their latest GSP Action Plan progress report to USTR in mid-April. And I understand that it was reportedly discussed during the Trade and Investment Cooperation Forum meeting a few days ago. Given recent reports of union suppression in the garment sector, how realistic is the Bangladeshi government's self-assessment of their progress on the action plan's requirement to ensure protection of unions and their members from anti-union discrimination and reprisal? What's your assessment of their progress on this requirement?
Well, as you know, we suspended GSP based on the labor rights and the worker conditions in Bangladesh. We developed an action plan with them of the steps necessary for them to take. Our view, including discussed earlier this week in Bangladesh, is that they have taken some steps, but there is still a lot of work to be done. And so we're going to continue to engage with them on the remaining work that needs to be done and encourage them to take those actions.
Mm-hmm. Finally, our trade policy agenda report of 2014 talked about U.S. good exports to Latin America and the Caribbean increasing about 175% from 2003 to 13, the fastest rate of growth, export growth to any region in the world, almost 40% increase over the previous 3 years, which is pretty dramatic. Are there other opportunities in Latin America that we need to pursue based upon that tremendous growth?
Well, Senator, I think there are further opportunities that we can pursue. In TPP, of course, we have not only Asian countries at the table, but also countries from Latin America, Mexico, Peru, Chile. We are following with great interest the development of the Pacific Alliance in this region as they open up their markets to each other. There are other countries in Latin America who potentially would like to join TPP in the future. In response to Senator Isaacson's question, we're still looking for ways to engage with Brazil to deepen and broaden our economic relationship there, and to build upon the network of free trade agreements that we already have with Latin America and the Caribbean, and deepen our relationship with them accordingly.